Welcome. We'll discuss the text in this section. Text is a very strong tool in design and illustration and infographics, all sorts of design. So we'll treat it with care. We'll have two types of text here. If I click here on the text, I move out, you see the A indicating text following me. I'll drop the insertion points, then I can type. This is good. Okay. If I click another place, I can type. This is better. Any text I type by clicking in any area in CorelDraw is regarded as artistic text. It means that I can treat it like an artwork and at the same time as a text. Let's look at the text properties. If I use the pick tool and click on it, it's selected like just normal text. I can use this to change the font. Assuming I want to make it bigger, I can change the typeface. This is the font size and this is the font. If you look at this place, you see several fonts, just like in word processing. Choose any one that catches your fancy. Note that if you are putting text for design, try to use the text with bold face so that you see what you're designing. This is what happened to this text. If I want to edit this text, I have two options. Number one, I can double click. If I double click, I drop the insertion point. I can edit it. The other option is to click this text box, assuming I'm in another object. To click the text box, this thing again, come over to this area. You see that it has changed to insertion point. I can click and edit. Now, as artistic text, I can stretch it to any length. I can even stretch the horizontal different from the vertical stretching. This is what we are getting. This means that this thing is behaving like a text. Not only that, it will take any of our artistic formatting. Let's demonstrate this. I can drop shadow here. We'll discuss drop shadow in the next lecture. If I click and drag this, I can drop a shadow. Then I can extrude a text. These are under this effect tools. I can treat this effect completely like a text. Then we look at this again. It has certain qualities that we usually need when we are working. I want to fit this text to a curve. If I have a curve like this, let's make it empty, and I want to type a text, artistic text, that will take this shape. I'll select my text, go near the object. Once it comes to this line sign, I'll click. Then I can type. This is wonderful. Okay, so here the text still knows that it's a text and it's telling me, giving me the properties of the text. I'll reduce it. I have to select the text alone. Then I'll reduce this to maybe 18. Then if I drag it, it will move. This is how flexible it is. If I change the parts, it will change. Now, if I've gotten what I want and I don't want the parts again, I can come to the objects and break text text apart. If I click break text apart, the objects there is detached. This does not affect this again, while we have our text well shaped. So in the course of our discussion, you see so many things, more especially when we come to effects, you can use on artistic text. So this is about artistic text only. There is the other type of text called paragraph text. Paragraph text is like word processor. It does not take the fancies of beautification we have here. It will give you your text as it is, it should be in a paragraph. We'll introduce this by clicking the text button. Then we make a box. Then we can type inside this box. We type anything you want inside here. You can even copy and paste inside this box. It will treat it like a box. If we call up the property menus, you see that all the things we need in editing word processor are present and more. So let's call up the properties of this object. We go to Windows, go to Dockers, then we now go to we look for properties. Select your text box, look at the properties. This will give you the properties of artistic text. We are interested in properties of our paragraph box. You click here. You now see that everything you need in the paragraph tool are here. Center, flush left, flush right, drop case, line spacing. We have everything we need here, because it recognizes this as a paragraph text. If you click any of these artistic text, the things we can have available are things like this. And we even have transparency. These are the things we have. We can have the change the fill and change the font size. But once we click this property here, we see that we have all the properties. So that's one thing you will note. We'll discuss just enough text here to carry out our graphics. Not enough. You only learn enough to start designing magazines and newspaper here. We reserve this to this text box. We have text menu here. So when we're in text menu, we'll discuss everything, how you can use these properties to design your brochure, your handout, and so many other things. For now, we limit this to designing just simple things. So use this paragraph if you have text you want to keep together, like the address, bulk of text you want to keep together. Otherwise, most of the time when you're designing, you just click and type your artistic text, because you can't design this. You can only do the normal thing you do with word processor, like changing the color, the size, and the typeface. You can't use it for design. Okay, so it will be clearer when we go to the design. You see how we'll design with the text. So that you will note. Then remember that this is the document navigation bar. You can add many documents. In most cases, when you are working, you may want to work on 2 documents at the same time. Put another document here. It's treated like another document and will be saved as another document. Note that this is different from page navigation here. The page navigation gives you page. Inside this document, we can add pages. This is the properties you want to use when you're designing magazine, handouts, brochure, thesis, and other ones. If you're doing a job that's spanning to several pages. So let us get a copy text and put inside. I'll show you something you will experience. If I click here and copy, if I copy this, just come to CorelDraw and paste it. It will treat it like just any object you copied. It will drop it there like an object. Let's see what we dropped. This is where I dropped it. It's not seeing it as text, just an object, and we can treat it like object. It's not even artistic that you can design anyhow. So you won't do this if you want to use your text, if you want your text to be reasonably used. So I will delete this. How will you do that? You get your paragraph tool, make a box, drop any number of text inside this paragraph box which is called frame. It will now treat it. It will ask you, do you want to maintain the original font? It's now treating it as a text. It knows that it's a text. So you click OK to accept all this. Then this is our text, and it has converted it to paragraph text. You can treat it like a paragraph. What if I just pick few objects and done? Can I treat it like a text? Let's collect the title of this and copy it. We go to paragraph. We go to our work and paste. Now we are pasting while using this. We copy it while on this text tool. It will recognize that we did this while in text tool, and it will treat it like a text. So anytime you want your copy to be treated like a text, make sure you click here. Click where you want the text to be placed, then go and copy. It will still understand it. So these are the major things you will note about text. Under here you will see table. The CorelDraw gives you room to draw and edit table. If you look up here, you will notice that let's get the properties, whether it recognizes it as a table. We have this, so if you look up to this table now, you will see all the tools you know about in manipulating table, like the rows, you can insert rows. Let's go here. We say table, create new table, convert table. You see I'll have insert row, select, delete. All these tools are here. But it is not good for you to do your table here. Go to any word processing. That will save you a lot of inconveniences and time. Do your table there, copy it and come here and paste. One way. The other way is to link it. Tell CorelDraw that you want to create an object. So we go to objects, you go to insert, not in insert, you go to create. Okay, still in insert. We say we want to insert an object. This is the best way to get a foreign body into the CorelDraw, and it will still treat it like the source of the information. I'll click objects. It will ask me to select. These are the softwares it recognized. It asked me to select which the software I need. I'm interested in tables. You see, table would have been best with Excel if you're doing complex calculations, but we just want to use Microsoft Word documents. So we use you have to look very well. We have WordPerfect, we have a lot of softwares, and we have Microsoft with years. So we have 97, we have Word, just say Word. So it will now ask us, do you want to bring in ready-made documents, the file we have already? So if you have this table already, you just click create from file. If you want a new file, it will still create a new file for you. If you say okay, when you finish, you return to this place, and it will maintain both the formatting, everything you've done with the table. If you double click the table, it will take you back, if you worked in Excel, to Excel to update. So that's the best way to bring in these things. Don't come to CorelDraw and start calculating. It's waiting for us to do our table. Once we finish, we say insert, we go to table. Once we finish, CorelDraw sees it as its own document while maintaining the attributes and all the features of the Microsoft Word. This is the table we're interested in. We can format it, we can redesign it, do anything you want with the table. Then when you finish, come here and close it. Close. Once you do that, it is in CorelDraw. If I want to use this object and double click, it goes back to the Word. So this is the best way to handle your table. We'll delete. We'll discuss more on that when we're dealing with magazines. Hello. Join us in mastering CorelDraw Graphics Suite with our comprehensive course. This lesson is just one of the 80 in-depth tutorials designed to equip you with all the skills you need. Whether you are a beginner or seeking to enhance your proficiency, our course covers everything you need to know about CorelDraw and Corel Photo Paint. Subscribe to our channel to unlock more insightful lessons like this one, or take the next step by enrolling in the full course using the link below. Don't miss out on the opportunity to access all 80 lessons and elevate your design expertise with CorelDraw Graphics Suite. See you in the class. My name is Ejiofor Umanu. I'm one of your instructors in this course.